Hey guys, welcome to our channel. In today's video is we're gonna learn about how to connect API with WordPress. So we're gonna be walking you through the process of connecting any type of API to your WordPress platform or website. So it is gonna be a straightforward process. And before we dive in, let's do a quick overview first onto what WordPress is all about. So, WordPress in here is a popular and user friendly platform for building websites and blogs. So, it allows individuals and businesses to create and manage their online presence without extensive technical knowledge. So, with just a variety of themes and plugins, users can customize their websites easily. So, connecting an API to WordPress, this is very important or relevant because this will enable you to integrate external services and data into your site. So APIs or application programming interfaces acts as a bridge between different software systems, allowing them to communicate and share information. So by connecting an API to WordPress, then you could go ahead and pull in dynamic content such as real-time data, social media feeds, or third-party services, enhancing the functionality and richness of your website. So this integration is actually ensuring that your site stays updated with the latest information, providing a more engaging and interactive experience for your visitors. So as you can see, these are the different plans that WordPress offers. So we're currently using the free one, which is a taste of the world's most popular CMS and blogging software with just for free and no expiration date. So you could actually choose between monthly and annually or yearly onto WordPress. And there are also different platforms as well or plans that it offers, such as Starter in here, where you could go ahead and create your home on the web with a custom domain name. So this is per month. So these are also the different things that are included onto the plan. Also, we have the Explorer, wherein you could build unique websites with powerful design tools. So we also have creators in here so that it could unlock the power of WordPress with plugins and cloud tools. This is actually best for devs and entrepreneur, which is create a powerful online store with built-in premium extension. And lastly, we have the enterprise, wherein it delivers an unmatched performance with the highest security standards on the enterprise content platform. Now, if you scroll down further, you should be able to see the different inclusions onto the different plans and also the storage that it will take. And you could also go ahead and compare it so that you could decide onto which one you want to use. Now, to get started, you'll just have to click on to start creating or simply click on to login to get started in WordPress. So you'll just have to click on to get started or login in here. So let's start with get started in here. As you can see, creating an account in WordPress is very easy. You'll have the option to continue using your Google account, Apple account, or email. And if you continue, you should agree to the terms of service and just have read the privacy policy. And personally, I try to use continue with Google anytime so that I don't have to remember my password or email. I'll just have to click onto the Google account that I want to use. And as you can see, we are already redirected onto the website's dashboard. So here onto WordPress dashboard, if you're just starting out like me, you should be able to see the different steps for your site to finish. So you'll see a step-by-step guide to finish your website in here. So you'll just have to follow that one out. And then right after, the first thing that we need to do in here is we're gonna go ahead first and install the API plugin. So to connect an API in here, you need to start by installing a free plugin that we're gonna use. So here onto the left side, you should be able to see different things. We'll have to find plugins in here. So you'll have to click onto plugins so that you should be able to see the different plugins in here. And here onto the search bar, we're gonna go ahead and try to search for WP Get API to install that. So let's try to search that one in here, paste it like that, and click on to search. So as you can see, this should be the plugin that we're gonna install. We'll have to click onto that one to view it so that you could see the different detail. So this is by WP Get API to connect to external API. So you can connect WordPress to external APIs, send your data to API, and display API using shortcode or template tags. So as you can see, this is just for completely free. We have the ratings in here, when it was last updated, the version, in active installation. You could also see in here their description. It's live examples and major features and documentation. So we're just gonna go ahead and try to activate or install it in here. And by installing, you should agree to WordPress.com's terms of service and third-party plugin terms policy. And once it is actually successfully installed, now this is a step-by-step guide already onto setting up the API. So we'll be using in here codable API, which will simply return a random code for you. So this API is about as simple as an API can be, as there are no API keys or authentication required. So as you can see in here, these are the handy references before we go ahead and delve into. So this is what it looks like, the codable API that you have. So to set it up, so after installing it, you should be able to see it in here already, the WP Get API. So you should be able to see it onto the left side of your WordPress. Now, to add in the API details, should be able to see setup in here, add in the API name, the unique ID, and base URL. So since we're using the codable API, you'll just need to follow those one out. Add in the API name, which is codable, and the unique ID, just codable again. And this is actually as per your liking, since this is a unique ID. And then the base URL of the API that you're connecting to. So here onto the APIs that we have chosen, there are different link or URL that you could choose, but this one is what we could use, the get random code, and then we could go ahead and try to paste it in here. Now, there are three fields that are required. So those are the things that we have already added. And once you have filled in that three fields, you'll just have to go ahead and click onto the save button and add a new tab, codable, which will appear. Now you'll need to click onto that tab to be taken to the endpoint setup for this API. So as you can see, this is how it should look like. So as you can see, since we're done with the setup, if you've noticed, we're here onto the codable already. So for you to be able to proceed, these are the different fields that we need to go ahead and try to fill out. So you need to add in a unique ID, an endpoint, method, cache time, results, format, and query string. So this is all the info that I need for the API. And then right after, just the same process, hit onto the save button so that you're already ready to test the endpoint. Now to test it, once all of the fields are filled in, you have the save endpoint already, you should be able to see a test endpoint button in here, which is the blue one. So this will become active. You'll just have to click onto that to call the endpoint and return some data as well as some extra debugging information. So as you can see, you'll have to click onto that, and they're just concerned with the data output section. You should see an array that contain use random code. So this is what it looks like, that it shows that that is already a success. So for the step 4, which is displaying the API data, so the API is working correctly already and it is returning as expected. So they will display this on the front end of your website. So you'll have two options on how to display it, if it is for template tag or the short code. So for template tag, this will allow most flexibility in formatting the data, but some knowledge of PHP will be required for this. And to get individual parts of the API response, such as the order and the content, it would sometimes or something look like this. And if you're using shortcode, then you could add the shortcode into your pages and post to output API data. And this option is more limited than using the template tag, as the results format option must be set on a JSON string. So after adding the shortcode to the page, you could review or view the page and see the results of the API call. So the results above in here look strange, as this is just a raw JSON string at the API return. So for you to be able to do this, you'll just have to follow those steps mentioned. And those just basically it onto connecting API with WordPress using WP Get API. And if you think this has been helpful to you, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and we'll see you on to our next video.